Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel again. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the latest One Piece manga, chapter 1102. Let's get started. When Frankie said that Koma was their greatest ally, he did not exaggerate his word at the time, but rather his words were correct because he pointed to a great truth that became clear to us over time. It was initially revealed that Koma was the one who came up with the idea of the 2-year training. Moreover, this is what he said to Luffy before sending him to the island of Amazon Lily. In the last chapter, he said, "The new world is stronger than you. So it is still too early for you to enter it. Do not enter it unless you are ready, because you are the man who will save the world." Then he went to Rayleigh and he told him about the idea, and Rayleigh was convinced of it, given how difficult the new world was for the crew at the time, and they actually decided to implement it in a consultation with Luffy, of course. He also protected the ship through the 2-year period and helped the crew indirectly in Thriller Bark, despite his assignment at the time to get rid of them. However, unlike his habit, Kuma ignored the orders of the world government. His moral ties prevent him from doing so, no matter the cost. So, that's actually interesting. Like how Kuma was actually disobeying the world government, even though Jewelry Bonnie is she's technically a hostage. Here specifically, it shows how important Koma is in writing and the depth of his character, to the point where he is classified by many One Piece fans as one of the top 10 most important characters in One Piece right now. And the creativity of the writer, as usual, in linking the details together, but this time the linking was exceptional, with the truth as unusually. The memories of one of them relate to the largest character, who is ruler of the Sun Nika and the crew in general. So it's like Oda actually connected the dots to be in conclusion. Also, truly strange are the memories that transform certain person from a secondary man. I'm talking here about the flashback being changing the way we see Koma right now because of this flashback. The way he was a secondary character, we saw him in couple of arcs, and then we saw him as a pacifista, a cyborg, all that. But now seeing him as a human, the way he lived his life and how he turned from being a slave to being a saint to being a king to being a revolutionary to being a pirate to being a world government weapon. The guy did everything. He went through a really terrible, tough journey. And from as they say, from suffering, hero born. So he went through a lot of suffering and we saw that Bartholomew Koma, who never went through a certain period in his life in which he felt happy, except after that he went through a more difficult situation. So he never stopped fighting whatever against his enemy or against circumstances. And during the time, his attachment to Nika, which we all know it's Luffy, since his childhood made him, he always helped others but himself, which is something he got from Nika. He always helped others but himself, which has made him a moral depth. He had a whole moral depth to everyone. Everyone owns Kuma for helping them, from Ivankov and his friends and the old people in Swordpit Kingdom to the Revolutionary Army to Dragon himself. It's incredible character. I'm telling you. And in the end, the flashback of one of the story heroes ended in the writing. So Bartholomew Koma, with all the dramatic details, and it succeeded to the memories of any before him, and great details that made Koma one of the best characters in One Piece right now. As I said, there was a glimmer of hope for his memory to return, but it disappeared completely. In the final chapter, after it became clear that touching the bubble containing a copy of Kuma Past meant its disappearance, and that what Boney did to to end all possibilities through which we were counting on his return in one way or another. A lot of people speculated that he will touch them, the memories, and his conscious will return to him. But after seeing Boney, what Vegapunk said, that touching the memories will make it disappear. The thing that caught my attention was the self-destruct button on the on Coma, uh, which Saturn actually ordered Vegapunk to install it, to put the self-destruction button. So I'm assuming this self-destruction button will be the ticket or the way out for the Straw Hat from Egghead. I think they will run away from Egghead to Elbaf, and it will be through the self-destruction button. I think Coma will actually kill Saturn with the self-destruction button, and that's gonna be like a nuclear bomb or something that will kill Saturn, and which is gonna be huge. The news that will shake the whole One Piece world, being like one of the Jorosi dying. Um, and that's just an assumption, or maybe just he will destroy himself like what Pedro did in Whole Cake Island when he sacrificed himself, so the Straw Hat crew run away. So I'm just hoping he will do he will do like one last sacrifice from all the many thousand sacrifices he did throughout his life. Kuma will be like ending his life with this one more sacrifice that will help the Straw Hats run away, and for Nika to continue his journey. Also, I like the author reason focus on showing Dragon relationship with his son. Throughout the last couple of chapters, we saw how like Dragon actually cared about Luffy that a lot. Whether he cares about seeing Luffy whenever he approaches the place where he lives, and constantly thinks about him and makes sure he stays safe away from his actions. Personally, as the leader of the Revolutionary Army, the number one wanted man by the world government, or even in terms of actual interest in moving in order to bid farewell to him before into the Grand Line, because we know that after defeating Arlong, his next stop was the Grand Line, and I assume that Dragon reached to that conclusion, because he is like, okay, he's gonna leave Arlong Park and go to Luke Town before he entered the Grand Line. Also, there's like one scene where the Dragon was asking Sabo about who's the Marine officer there, and Sabo told him it's Smoker. But he didn't actually tell Sabo that he's going to see his son, which is something also tells you how careful he is, not telling anybody that this Luffy is my son. Also, I think that when Dragon actually we see his flashback appear in the future, if the author decides to draw it in the beginning, he will focus more deeply on this aspect than what we see in the previous chapter, especially after we saw Kuma memory. After that, expectations became very high, to see the depth of writing for Dragon, also as well I would say Shanks and Akainu. I think those flashbacks will be like really interesting, and I think that's it. I think that's I covered most of